The motion carries. Our next agendized item is the trespass of Mr. Dave Bowman. Bonner County Ordinance 1-200 was enacted for the purpose of establishing a regular meeting schedule for the Bonner County Board of Commissioners in order that the board activities can be carried out with greater public participation and awareness in 1990. The purpose of the regular business meeting is for the Board of County Commissioners to conduct the business of Bonner County publicly. Regular business meetings do not constitute public hearings wherein the public has the right to be heard on every agendized item. However, at the discretion of the chair, everyone may be afforded an opportunity to speak on a particular issue if recognized by the chair. Any unrecognized comments or disruptive behavior would be grounds for removal from the board meeting by the chair and may subject the person being removed to criminal prosecution according to law. Members of the BOCC are a governmental process with a governmental purpose. The BOCC has an agenda to be addressed and dealt with in an orderly and civil manner. Dave Bowman's behavior has repeatedly disrupted Bonner County regular business meetings. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, based on the information before us, I move to trespass Dave Bowman from Bonner County Administration Building for 1 year, starting on 1/26/24, 1/25/25. Have the chairman draft and sign a written notice identifying the conduct giving rise to the trespass, provide means for access to necessary county services, and a method to appeal.
Is there deliberation? I will step down from the chair and second the motion. There is a motion and a second on the floor. Is there deliberation amongst the Board of County Commissioners?
There is deliberation from this commissioner. I'll restate that we have been advised not to move forward in this direction. You have not identified what the issue and concern is. You have a conflict of interest as you are likely going to be a co-defendant if a suit comes forward on this issue. You have grossly disregarded legal. You're not even discussing it. And you are putting Bonner County at risk for bankruptcy of additional restrictions when you've been advised to welcome these two individuals back into Bonner County building. It is absolutely not acceptable that the two of you don't actually, if you're going to make the wrong decision, that's fine, but you should explain why you're making this decision, and you're not. The chairman presides authority that you continually tout in front of people in these meetings. If I was the attorney on this, I could actually go through every one of your behaviors that actually would do worse than.
But you're not an attorney, Mr.
Commissioner Williams, there is a motion and a second on the floor. Let's keep. My behaviors are not what is being deliberated right here.
No, actually, it is. It is exactly
Commissioner
your behaviors.
Williams,
Commissioner
no.
Ahmed,
Point of order.
This is about you making
Commissioner Williams, there
decision.
is a motion and a second on
And
the
it's
floor,
called
and that is.
discussion. We're discussing
No,
the
we are.
decision. Yes,
We are
that's called
discussing the
discussion.
motion and the
Point of
second on
order
the
has
floor.
been
We're
called, Mr.
discussing,
Chairman.
we're
Yes, it has.
discussing what you're
Commissioner-
doing. If you want to call for a vote,
The
call for
motion
a
and the
vote.
second. I was going to respond. May I have your permission to speak, Commissioner?
You know what? It's unnecessary what you're doing. I would really like you to tell why you're doing this to the county and how this is in the county's best interest to disregard legal. I would go ahead and do that.
Thank you for your permission. These decisions are being made to protect the operations of Bonner County. Bonner County is a governmental corporation with a governmental purpose. Enforcing the rules of decorum and civility at our meetings is the responsibility of the chair.
So you're going to kick Bradshaw out of this meeting?
Commissioner Williams,
I'm asking you. This is called discussion. Are you going to remove Bradshaw, who has a restraining order, from this meeting?
Commissioner Williams.
I don't believe I've ever been removed from office. Thank you.
Well, Commissioner Williams.
It is very germane that you answer that.
Commissioner Williams, in regards to that one, I will give a very brief response, which is that went before a judge of the state of Idaho.
Which meant it was proven that it was necessary to
Commissioner
provide that
Williams.
protection.
We are
Point of
here
order.
today to address the motion and the second on the floor. The employees of this county have a right to go to work unhindered. The employees of this county and the taxpayers of this county have a right to their governmental services. That is the statutory obligation of the Board of County Commissioners. The meetings of Bonner County have come to such a point and I have had many employees come and say thank you for working to restore order and civility at these meetings. When our employees are concerned, and I have spouses of employees stopping me in a grocery store and saying, I don't know if I want my employees to work at Bonner County because of the rancor and the dysfunction, that is so concerning to me. Our employees are the lifeblood of the operations that allow us to provide the statutory services to all of the citizens of Bonner County. When people make threats of violence, when they rush the table, when they refuse to follow the lawful statements of the chair. I did not write Ordinance 1-200, but it is written into ordinance, and the ordinance is clear. Complying with the ordinance as it is written is the following the rule of law, which is what we were asked to do when we raised our right hands, and you and I issued our oaths as given on January 9th by Judge Burries. I absolutely stand by protecting the rights of employees to work in a safe environment and for the operations of Bonner County to continue. Is there any further deliberation?
There is. So if that is your position, where is it that you hold up your obligation to make good decisions for Bonner County? Because you have to accept that legal has told you not to do this. You have to accept that litigation is already pointing at us. You have to accept that you too shouldn't even be making a decision about this because you're party to the tort that was filed. And you're ignoring
I guess we resigned and didn't know it.
I didn't realize there was
I didn't
a
realize
tort that was
we had
filed. There
stepped
was an
down.
intent to file a tort, but that is not why we're here, and I am not
I'm
going
sorry,
to.
no.
So,
No, but, so I'm gonna point, this should be something that you're willing to have actually quite a bit of conversation, especially since my concern is litigation that you've already
that's,
been noticing.
Commissioner Williams, I
You're-
will draw your attention back to there is a motion and a second on the floor.
And I'm
I am
having a
not,
discussion.
and Commissioner
You're
Williams, we are
assum-
not going to discuss potential litigation because that's not what this
You-
motion is about. Regardless of how much you might try to draw that, there is a motion and a second on the floor to trespass Dave Bowman from the Bonner County
What
Administration
was the
Building
behavior?
for
Or
1
is-
year.
What was the
That will be
behavior?
addressed, written.
I
There will
think we
be
should say
a,
that in this hearing before
I
you
went
vote
over
to
to my-
trespass. Shouldn't you
Is there-
say what the issue is before you trespass?
Roll
Because
call
you
vote.
can't support your decision.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
No.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The motion carries. It is 11:14 and this meeting is adjourned.